It is housekeeping. Awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss, and I hope you guys are sharing the pod as I am right now. Share to all your groups, share to everything. We're going to have a big show. It's going to be lots of fun. And I tell you what, we are excited about another one of the tournaments that has supported our show. Last week, we had them on Ocean State Grand Nationals. That is not this weekend, but the next weekend. So make sure you guys, it's a huge tournament. It's a lot of fun. And we are going to talk more and more about that throughout the show. So just want to give them a shout out. Ron and Christine Rodriguez. We had a great show with them last week, and they continue to keep growing the sport. So,
yeah, the thing about like a tournament like Ocean State is there's typically like 3 to 4 tournaments where it's like, okay, we all kind of know everyone's going to these, right? Yeah. And then it's based off of kind of like, I like this one, logistically works out. Oh, this is a team event. It's perfect. I got sponsored to go to this one. But Ocean State, been around a long time. They've kind of become like, no, this is one of the ones you don't miss.
Right. Correct. Yeah. I mean, they've done a great job. I mean, I know for when I was younger, it was one I didn't miss, and a lot of the people up north didn't miss it. Right. It was their big tournament. And especially when the crane circuit, which has been around for a long time, kept growing, and you still have international people come out to this event. We always had like the Guatemalan teams, the Canadians coming out, they would always bring people from overseas to do set fights or
English teams.
Yep. English teams, many different ones. So a lot of great, just legacy, just the legacy they've built up there has been awesome. What's besides Paul Mitchell, right? What's a team or maybe a school that you think about when you hear that, hey, this is, that you expect to see, right?
Well, typically I like, you'll see people from teams straight up, because of the school and the proximity, right? You're going to see that. You're going to see anyone from Mike Conroy's school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, those are good ones. For me, I like seeing a lot of the, the Serios team, right? Yep. You'll see a good amount from, from Canada, from Montreal, right? You'll also see guys like Dennis Malloy and his team that always had people out there. I think they were called, I think they're the Pit Bulls, right? Their team they had back in the day. And so I know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be going by his school Thursday and doing some private lessons and stuff. So he has a good team out there. There's so many schools out there that people may not see throughout the year, but they see it at this one, You got to remember too, most of the crane tournaments right now are at the same venue. So this venue knows how to run. They're used to how this works, how the Rodriguez run thing. So it's going to be awesome. What's up, Sam?
What's happening, brother?
John. All right. So we're going to talk. I'm sure we'll get back to that more and more. One of the things we do need to talk about is, let's see. Well, all right. My Saturday, your Saturday. I'll just go real fast. I was in Maryland. This weekend for AAU Taekwondo tournament. Was a lot of fun. I really don't know how many people were there because it was the weirdest thing. We're all there that morning, like, okay, it looks we're going to get through this, pretty fast. When weapons started, thinking, okay, maybe only 150 people here. And
Oh,
then by the time weapons ended, we look around and no one can move. And it was like an extra 300 people just showed up, and
that's
it was
awesome.
wild. And so it was a long night, but it was a long day, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you go ahead. Uh, and so I enjoyed it. Yes, there was a lot of tournaments this weekend. TCT had tournament, of course. Sport Karate had tournaments. They were all over the place. Um, for me, one of the cool things was seeing so many of our students go up there this year. So we had 13 go up there and compete, and we did. What's up, Mark? We did weapons first. My students really enjoyed like being able to do their weapons form multiple times. I think that was what was really cool because you're going head to head. Of course, the weapons divisions aren't huge. It's not their biggest thing, but it's a good way to get the reps in, especially for like nationals. Like some of the divisions at nationals had like 20 to 30 people. When this year in Salt Lake City, we'll have a lot. So you think about doing rounds after rounds of your creative weapons form. You could do your creative weapons form 5 times in one division or 6 times. You got to be prepared. And so it was really
Got
cool.
in shape.
Yeah. So my nephew really enjoyed that part, like of being able to do his weapons form many times. And one of the funniest things is that he's like, well, I did it twice, so I figured I'd just change it up a little bit. And I'm sitting there, and he completely freestyled his form. And I'm filming it, and I'm laughing because it's
That's
like
what we did in the 90s.
right, but it's definitely like he's learning it from me, right? So because that's what I do still to this day. I don't never do the same thing twice. And so he's just like, dude, he tells me like, yeah, but you do this all the time, Uncle Sensei. Like, all right.
Calls you Uncle Sensei.
He's
That's
like
the coolest name.
Sensei, Uncle. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of funny.
Uncle Sensei. Oh man.
Yeah. So that was cool. All of my students did amazing. We had, it was just a good experience overall. And I enjoyed, getting some rounds in with my forms, but also getting to spar too. It was fun doing some fighting this weekend as well. So lots of fun. All right. Tell everyone your horrific, crazy.
I did not have that much fun.
Right.
So this Saturday this was the last Saturday that I pretty much have free until the middle of December, right? So every single Saturday I have is accounted for. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, maybe we'll plan something," like in the spring, or we'll get together on a Saturday, I'm like, no, we're not. That stuff's booked. You got to jump on 2026's schedule, but not the fall because that's booked too, right? It's just weird, right? So we're enjoying it. We had a beautiful set. It's just so weird at this stage of life because it's like you know what I'm talking about, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be like, all right, let's go do this at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Like you don't know what that's like. You don't know what it's like to be like, you want to do 9 o'clock? Let's just push it to 11. You have no idea what that life is like on a Saturday, right? You will never know, right? But you're okay with that. You understand that. You wear that with a badge of honor. I did the same thing. But every single day that I'm able to do that, I literally look at this and I'm like, I still can't believe that this is something that I'm doing. This is weird. This is weird, right? So all we did is we went and got Zachary a haircut. All three of the kids and I, we went. Lindsay had an appointment. We come back. We're just hanging on the patio, and literally Lindsay was telling me, she goes, I just love our life, right?
Yeah.
We got a lot of drama. We got a lot of things that we got going on. We got a lot to be thankful for.
Right.
I go to an appointment at the showroom. On the way back, craziest thing happens, right? I get into a car accident, okay? Crazy. On the highway. Now, here's how the freaking accident happened, right? I am just hanging, right? I'm a defensive driver. I'm doing the speed limit, hanging in the right lane. I got nothing but time. I got nothing pressing. Let's just hang, nice and leisurely drive by myself. Right now, I have a pretty large vehicle. I have a GMC Yukon XL, right? It's a big freaking vehicle. So I hear squealing. I know that there's a semi truck behind me in the lane next to me because I could see it in my rear view. I'm like, I don't see anything going on. I look at my blind spot, and there's this BMW. You can't make this crap up. He's just sliding all over all the lanes. And I'm like, what is happening? And I look, and he's just coming right at me. And there's nothing. I can't go anywhere. Right? There's nowhere else for me to go. Right? And he corrects himself, but overcorrects, and now he's headed straight for the median. And I'm like, I'm about to witness this car blow up. And he overcorrects again. Brakes were not an option for this guy, apparently. I don't know why. Right? So he overcorrects again, and then now his car's wobbling, and it's just bam, straight into me. And I mean me, all right? Because it hits me, right?
Yeah,
not just the car. It literally hits where I am, right?
Right.
I'm so thankful that the Lord protected me by not having the kids in there, because if it would have hit me and Adrian, right? Because he sits right behind me.
Right.
That would have been very, all right? So he hits me. I spin around like 2.5 times. Now remember what's behind me. There's a semi truck behind me, right? Wow. So I'm spinning and I'm actually going across both lanes, and I'm find my way into the shoulder. This is where the chaos. Okay, so the accident happened. Okay, the accident happened. I actually gave you is what I could do, like the short version. But here's the nutty part. So I call 911. Yada yada. Accident. Here's where I am. Yep. This mile marker. Come get. All right. Cops are on their way. Sounds good. I can't really get out of the car. There's this guy. Somehow I'm in the shoulder. Remember, there's this guy, and he's waving at me. Now there's a bunch of like smoke from like the airbags going off. You ever had that happen? The airbags go off. Well, airbags are going off, like all of them. So thankful that they have the side airbags, right?
Yeah.
And so he's waving, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Right? It's like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "You're here for a reason. I'm not all right. This sucks." Yeah. So I get out of the car, and I'm like, man, what is going on? And I look at the guy, and he has socks on his hands. And I look at him for a second, and I'm like, I'm not seeing what I'm seeing right now. He's asking me questions like, "Oh, is this hurt? Is this hurt?" And so finally I look up at him, and I'm like, I got no shame, right? I'm like, dude, the heck's with the socks? He goes, I just got really dry skin. I should have let it go.
Yeah.
Right. I don't. And I'm like, dry skin? So you wear freaking socks on your hands? And he's like, okay, well, I'm out of here. And then I'm like, oh, man. Well, I felt bad because I'm like, I said what everyone would think. I just said it. Right. Yeah. God. Lamb chop. Exactly.
Just shut up when you're getting help, dude. Don't be.
Dude, it was like, I don't even know what time it was. Right.
Don't
so like, I didn't know what else to do. It was just like, listen, if you've listened to 2 episodes, you know that like the craziest things go through my head. Right.
Correct.
So I just said it. And now, so everything it's going to cost like a stupid amount of money, even though I didn't do anything wrong. Like just kind of talking to lawyers and insurance companies, there's just knowing about it. It's going to take a really freaking long time. I'm going to be out tens of thousands of dollars. Just the reality, the way it's going to be. Freaking sucks, right? If he had a professional sock puppet business, that would be hilarious, right? So I'm talking to the cops again, right? And they're like, "Hey, so kind of what happened?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was this other guy comes up to me and he goes, 'Are you okay?' And I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. I can't. I'm talking to 911. I can't talk to you." And they're like, "Yeah, what happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was some black BMW was just flying all over the road like an idiot." And this guy goes, "Actually, it's blue." And I'm like, "Wait, were you driving?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, you could tell how I feel about this guy, right? And I'm like, "Screw you, pal. What the heck's wrong with you?" Right? Now, this is where it gets sad. He goes, "I just wanted to die," which I'm like,
oh my God.
I actually don't believe it. I don't believe it, because if you did just want to, why would you correct yourself when you were going to crash? Right? Like if you wanted to, if you really did, number one, you suck at that. Number two, if you really wanted to, the heck do I have to do with that? I don't have nothing to do with it. What are you going to take me with you for?
I didn't expect this today.
I didn't expect it on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Here I was
Oh my God.
moments earlier going, man, things are pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's how God does things, though. All right. And well, wise pastor once told me, he said, you're either just coming out of a trial or you're just about to go into a trial. It's just the way things work, right? If things are nice and smooth and easy, be worried, because then that means the devil's got no reason to worry about you. You're already on his path. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. You suck at that.
It kind of, come on now.
I know.
If that was your goal, which I don't believe.
No,
right?
no.
Well, here's what's funny. But maybe Sam, you're a lawyer. You guys maybe can weigh in. Yeah. So here's what I found out, Jeff. Listen to this. I found out that if there are some exclusions, like there's no two ways about it. This guy's at fault, right? Like I did nothing. I didn't do it. Like he just smashed into me. There's at fault. It's him. Apparently, if somebody intentionally tries to crash their car, like let's say somebody tries to like crash their car into like a street light, right, to get like car insurance. Apparently, this is the thing. Well, it could be the same thing against somebody else. Like if they can deem that they intentionally tried to do something, now there can be exclusions in their policy, and they can say, "Oh no, we're not covering this." And now I gotta go to my insurance, right? And then my rates go up because this guy is an idiot, right?
Right. That's insane. That's crazy.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Look into that for us.
Yeah, look into it. Wow. Well, I'm sorry. I'm glad you're with us today, man. I'm glad things turned out, but I know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I had that massive vehicle. I really am, because if I had like the other one, I used to have a little Kia Optima. Well, he would have drove through me with that thing.
You would have flipped over to another
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, my shoulder is pretty busted up. All right. I went to go. This is funny, right? So like, I'm not really that, but everybody's like, you should call the doctor. Go to the doctor. You gotta go to the doctor. And I'm like, I'm fine. And they're like, my wife's like, look at you. Like, it's pretty scarred up, right? She's like, it's not fine. It's one thing. Like I'll brush off other people, but when like I gotta go to sleep next to my wife, she's gonna keep at it. I can't get away, right? So I'm like, all right, you do drive a good point. I'll go get it checked out. So here's what they say. This is actually, it made me giggle today too. She goes, yeah, because what are they gonna do? You just got to get X-rays, which I know are gonna be fine. She goes, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the X-rays. You got a fair amount of arthritis though. I'm like, in my shoulder. She's like, yeah, what do you do? Like martial arts or something? Yeah. Did you not? This is what she said. And she said it that like that. Number one, she said it like that. Like, of course, like martial artists are idiots and they do that. But she also said it like you do martial arts or something. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, actually, I do. How about that? What do you do? What are you, martial arts or something? Idiot. Why do I got to deal with these idiots?
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why some of these things happen to you, but well, I guess they God knows we need to entertain the people, so.
Yeah, at least you know when that happens. I come in here and I tell you guys.
That's right. Oh man. Well, all right. I want to get started. I got another short thing to give a shout out to someone. Kyle Reed has been making some awesome moves as a promoter. He just released 3 different things that he's doing this year now for his tournament next year. So one of the things that was cool was he put out a promotional video, right? And he talked about, that our industry doesn't acknowledge NIL, name, image, and likeness, right? And a lot of people just kind of put whoever on the flyer, which is great, or in a video, which is great. But what is it that we can do to show recognition for that, right? And I thought that was a cool thing. The first step he did was to, give people some type of payment for being in that promo video. So if you were chosen in that promo video that he put out, there, you got in Cash App or Zelle or Venmo or whatever, you got something sent to you within a couple of days of that week. Hey, congrats, you're in this promo video for Mid-Atlantic Challenge. Send me your Venmo or whatever, and you will have this amount of money next week. So again, it's the first step. It's really cool because, again, our industry doesn't recognize the NIL, right? So name, image, likeness, it's the first step towards that. I thought it was really cool. That was one. The next day or 2 days later, he's going to select 10 athletes that are going to have their own kind of code, right? A promo code for their tournament. And so anyone that registers under that promo code will be getting $5 from that. So it's a cool way to highlight certain people, certain superstars to promote your event. And then the last one, which was really cool, was honoring the senior competitors. So if you are 50 years old and above, and you're competing for free. So that's a huge step. So I think it's cool for him to take those steps forward, to lead the way in some things that are new, that are different, and also can push the forward. And again, it's all small steps to get to to a bigger step for not just his event, but the sport overall. So just big hand claps to Kyle Reed on that one.
I do like the idea of just saying, you know what, you guys are free. You know what I mean? I think that's really cool. So we say it all the time. The bulk of the money is, well, we say it all the time. I don't believe it to be true, that the bulk of the money is not from the black belts, it's from the underbelts. That's true for some events. All right.
Yeah, I don't always believe that. I think junior black belts is where
bingo.
The bulk of the money
yeah, that's where it's at. Now, I've said this often. I think we sponsor backwards. Yeah. I think, like, if you sponsored me, like, I don't need the financial kickback of the sponsorship, right?
It helps, but yeah.
Right, helps. I don't want to have to do that. And then for me, like, I look at it like I've done, maybe it's a scenario like that where, like, let's say I'm 52. And it's like, I've done this tournament, I've done this enough times. I don't know, do I really want to? Oh, you're gonna kick it to me for free? Now, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? Sure. Let's make it a thing. Let's go. But actually, I think if you sponsor, like we've been saying, you've been saying this, like, just sponsor the number one person in the division. And it's not even a whole competitor. It's one division. Right. And then here's the real reason why you might want to do it, because there's some competitors where it's them for multiple divisions.
Right.
So it's not like everybody gets it. Everybody has an opportunity to get that, which I think is fantastic. Right.
Yeah. Agree.
So
agreed.
That would be great. Spreading around that kickback, that free entry to other people, I think is a good way to go.
It's a lot of cool things. So great job, Kyle. And Mid-Atlantic Challenge next year. We'll put the data out, I'm sure, sometime, and we'll be probably working with him next year as well. So, all right. There's been some cool videos lately. We've been putting out more and more of the Jeffodpedia. All right. There's been some fun ones. This last one was cool with Devin Hopper. And this was probably one of my better ones where I got, I think, 6 out of the 7 right. And even one of the ones I got wrong, I think it was a WKC question or whatever. And I mean, who won men's teams or whatever. And so I think it was 2015. And that was the year that USA won. I think I picked Canada or whatever. But what's funny is that Devin got it wrong and he was there.
He was on the team.
Yeah, I think so. So that's funny.
I believe he was on the team.
He might have been on one of the teams.
I think he was the middle. Well, he was at least fighting for I think he was the middleweight representative. I think he might have won gold at nationals
in 2015.
I think so.
Maybe it may have been later than that, but I don't know. You might be right. Yeah. So that's been fun. We've had Anthony Merricks go against me. We had Bailey Murphy go against me, and we had Devin Hopper go against me. Right. The next one I can't wait to do is see the Kyle Reed one, because it's Anyway, I think there's some others too that have taken the challenge. The one that Bailey did was so bad because I mean, I only got like 3 right on that one. That was a really tough one. It was tough. But he didn't beat me, right? I think he only got 2.
Yeah.
And then I think Anthony's was like 4 out of 7 or something like that. So it's hard. Okay, it's not that I know all of them. I'm not going to get all of them right, but I'm most of the time going to get at least 50% most of the time. So also, before we move on, so share those videos, guys. Put in the comments how many you got right. And I thought that was pretty cool. Last week was a couple people said, "Oh, I got this many," or "I got," I think Troy Benz said that. From watching it, he did it as well and try to think of it himself, and he got that many. So put in the comments how many you got. So that was cool. Also, let's go ahead and share a little bit of what today was for you, just to give a shout out to your son.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, today is my son Zachary's 6th birthday.
Yeah.
So today was a chaotic day because I had to deal with all that freaking logistical stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's spring break, and I typically really love our babysitters. Okay, but we're down to
Yes.
one.
Or
We're down to one car. Okay. So,
Oh.
and then Lindsay and I are both like, all right, we had to juggle some things and we had enough. We have so many things that we had to do. We already kind of planned that we were going to kind of work from home today because Zachary's birthday. Our babysitter was horrible today.
Oh man.
She was hot garbage, right? To the point where Lindsay locked herself in our bedroom so she could work. And then we got at all times, at least one kid just smashing on the door. And we're like, your whole reason is to keep this from happening. This is just the only thing you're supposed to do is make this not happen. Take them for a walk. Do something. Like, give the other 2 coloring books. I don't care. The only thing you're supposed to do is not this.
Right.
It was,
Yeah.
my wife was ready to let her go, like right away.
Man.
Well, she's gonna get let go. She's ready to let her go today.
Wow.
So it was rough. But he had a good day. Those little things he started getting into. I don't know if you ever did this, but he started really getting into like football cards. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think our generation really completely changed cards.
Yeah.
Because before us, it was just baseball cards, right?
Right. I got into basketball cards big.
Same.
And then of course, I'm a pro wrestling fan, so I was big into pro wrestling cards.
Yep.
But everything started becoming a card, right? A collector card.
Our generation changed everything into cards, where there would be basketball and football cards. And for a lot of things, like that's how I kind of learned who guys were. Like I didn't learn who Johnny Unitas was until I got his card. And I was like, who the heck's this guy? Why is he so special?
Right.
And then I went up because why was I going to learn about Johnny Unitas? Right.
Correct.
And then I go and I look him up and I'm like, oh, dang, Johnny Unitas, he went to the Super Bowl. Oh, he was. Okay.
And let's not act like, people, ESPN wasn't that big then in like the 80s or even early 90s. It was till later, so, and half people didn't even have it. Because still,
John Worley even talked about when he was on ESPN that they were looking to put anything on. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, so that's cool. So, and then the cards thing got big. Well, my nephew's in the cards right now too. And he was like, look at these 4 major cards I got. One is like a basketball card. One is like a very rare Pokemon card. One is another baseball card, and one is something else. It's like 4 different ones, right? Or I think he's got 2 Christian Laettner ones, right? Because that's his name. His name's Laettner. So because my brother named him after Christian Laettner. So he's got certain things like that, right?
Named him after Christian Laettner.
Yeah, my brother's a huge Duke fan. Yeah, I had the Beckett magazines too, Brett.
The Beckett ones were great. Yeah. So anyway, so he's getting really into football cards. So we haven't. I'm trying to wait until he's got his feet under him before we move to basketball, because he already really kind of likes basketball. So we got a bunch of packs of cards a few weeks ago. He's like, Dad, I don't have any Vikings cards. So I'm like, don't worry about it. So then we got a bunch of those, and he's like, Dad, I got Randy Moss, and I'm like, Moss is the boss, buddy. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. So we're gonna go into our main topic: who's got the best fighting spin hook kicks, and then we'll talk a little bit about just why we do these things, of looking in the past, and the importance of sport karate research and how people can improve from watching. So, all right, top 5 best spin hook kicks of all time, and we are gonna focus on the sparring side of this. All right. Maybe one day we'll do a forms one, but we're gonna do some spin hook kicks. Do you want? I got some honorable mentions. You want me to start with that?
I got honorable mentions as well. But
All right,
I know my list is going to look different than yours.
Oh, I know. Like, this is going to be a great one too, because here's the deal for me. There's a lot of people I've looked at from the past, also in NASCA, but spinning hook kicks was something that, I mean, I saw a lot growing up, but I never saw so many spin hook kicks as I saw in the NBL circuit. Okay.
And that's why I knew ours are going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So there's some high level people. Do you want to just kind of keep going back and forth on our honorable mentions, and then we'll get into our top 5?
No, why don't you just do everything? You do your honorable mentions and then your top 5, and then I'll do the same.
All right.
Because I think some of mine might be, I might have an honorable mention that's in your top 5 or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. All right, so some of my honorable mentions. Ebony Adams. Ebony Adams always had a great spin hook kick.
That was pretty good.
And she did it in her forms and in her fighting. Here's one of these guys that was a great NBL continuous fighter as well as forms and point fighter, Adam Longoria. Okay, so Adam Longoria was from Texas. He
very good
spun hook kicked all the time. Him and Chris Millers had these epic battles where they probably both scored like 10 spin hook kicks on each other in one continuous fight. Okay. Another one from the West Coast, Marcus Dumlau. That dude has some great spin kicks. Also another one, West Coast, Alex Arceo, and then another one, Patrick Saliante. So both Alex of these, all these guys had great spin kicks. We've seen them do, of course, everyone on that list probably also have done what they call the flip kick, like the behind the back hook kick, which it's not all the way through spin hook kick.
It's not a spin kick.
But
fantastic.
They can do both, right? They're just great spinners. I mean, we've seen the video of Patrick Saliantes hitting someone with a cheat 720, right? So their spin hook kicks were awesome. All right. Number 5 for me, and this one could have been our mention, but I just feel like this dude, he spin just like on a dime. He could just boom, like whatever. And all right, we've talked a lot about Bill Viola in his school, like Kumite. And back in the day, those guys were the best at a reverse punch and a spin hook kick. Okay. And this competitor to me had probably the best of their team, and that was Billy Leader. And a lot of people may not know Billy Leader, but he was an amazing continuous fighter. He was an amazing point fighter. Cass Sigmund and him had great battles as juniors. And that was always one thing Cass always says, like, dude, this dude can just spin like crazy. And he's hitting me. He's hitting so many people. I've been hit with his spin hook kick, and it sucks. All right. So Billy Leader is 1. 4, honestly, I hate doing this, but I'm going to put Donald and Ronald Brady at number 4. Okay.
No, I got him there.
Yeah. Their spin hook kicks were amazing. And the thing is, their spin hook kicks, they didn't have to lean back at all. They would do it.
Ronald was probably better at that.
Right.
Donald did so many other things that were like weird and quirky. Donald was the middleweight. All right.
Yeah.
No. Ronald was the middleweight.
Yeah,
Donald was the lightweight. So Ronald, I mean, they both fought like the same, but he was just a more powerful kind of badass. Correct. Right, of what it was.
Yeah. So check these guys out. Like, again, guys, go on YouTube and search Billy Leader, search Donald Brady, search Ronald Brady. The spin kicks
are some of these things. Like, I know you and we didn't consult YouTube when we made these lists, right? No. Some of these things you may or may not be able to find. But I bet Wally Faulkner's got some stuff. So you may have to dig into the archives.
All right, number 3 to me, I mentioned his name already. That's Chris Molares. Chris Molares is one of the best spin hook kickers I've ever seen. And of course, he was also the first person to ever do a cheat 900 in a form. So this dude's got he's got just that ability, man, just the athletic ability. Actually, I think he also did like a pop 900 too. So just Molares is just an amazing competitor, amazing coach, amazing business owner, and his spin hook kicks were just amazing. So number 2 and number 1, 2 of the best for me. Number 2 is going to be someone who I've mentioned this so many times. Just watching this video of him spin hook kicking someone. Oh, actually, I'm not going to say just someone. Spin hook kicking Tony Young on one side, then switching sides and spinning hook kicking on the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Mafia Holloway. Mafia Holloway, for me, number 2 on my list, spinning hook kicks, one of the best spinning hook kicks of all time. And dude, like, amazing.
To be
Like,
honest, I blanked on that one. I'm
yeah.
gonna admit that right away. I left that out.
I mean, dude, his athletic ability, and again, like Mafia, went through.
Not what I thought you were gonna say, but
yeah, he is just, dude. Mafia Holloway, he'd been a lot of times as a middleweight. Then he moved into the heavyweight. He was a light heavyweight. So for him to be spin hook kicking people at will, his athletic ability, his skill, the way he was able to time it, just amazing. And one of my favorite competitors to watch, especially in the mid 90s, right? But go back and watch some of the stuff from the 80s when he was fighting, when he was even younger. Because a lot of people saw him like fighting like 95, 96. That was kind of around the last time he was fighting, right?
yeah,
he was
I did remember seeing him in the early and mid 90s mostly.
Right. And so go back and watch some of those. Crazy. Number 1 to me, this guy probably has the most legendary spin hook kick knockout that's all over everywhere, and he's the shortest on the list, and that's Robbie Lavoie. So,
I'm so glad that that's your number 1.
Yeah. So Robbie, just, man, this dude, his spin kicks are wild.
He is the best at that move.
He's
just the best.
I think he's the best at it. So yeah, to me, it's Mafia and Robbie. Those 2 are the best. There are some other ones that come in my head now. Again, I'll tell you what, a lot of the guys from Mexico, a lot of the guys from Guatemala, like seeing them spin hook kick people.
The Guatemalans are very good, actually.
I mean,
I now remember this. Yeah.
So there's so many names that we could talk about, but so that was my list. So again, I'm going to go one more time. I got Billy Leader, the Bradys, Chris Molares, Mafia Holloway, and Robbie Lavoie.
Okay, so our list is dramatically different except for one. So I'm gonna, before I go, I completely forgot about Mafia Holloway when I made this list, but there's somebody else I forgot about that now came to my memory that I can't believe you didn't pick up, and that's Ibi Abdallah.
Yeah,
it's just so hard.
It is hard, and I guess for me, like, well, he had some great spin kicks. But when I saw him growing up, it was more about his pump kick or, some of his other kicks, right?
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to rifle off through, I got a bunch of honorable mentions. Kalman Choka. Kalman Choka as a junior was legit, right?
Yeah. We used to have battles in the division, and that he would love spin hook kicking people.
That and like back bridge handing people. Like he just like try to cut you in half. Because he would do it through like the ribs, and he would do it over the top.
I got hit with one of those in the throat one time. It did not feel good.
Yeah. All right. Best kicker ever in the world, but he's not in the top 5 of this move, and that's Jason Borelli.
Yeah, Jason definitely
still amazing at this. I got hit with him with a spinning axe kick on top of my head.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
And I'm taller than him.
Right.
So then sometimes when you look at these things and you're like, wait a minute, math-wise, how does that work? You know what I mean? All right. Another honorable mention, Leo Valdivia.
That was one that should have been on my list. That dude, you don't want to get hit by that dude.
Like if you think it's coming, like you're like, nah, I'm not gonna kick. I'll figure something else out.
Yeah.
Right. Another one that's kind of like that is Chance Turner, because Chance Turner doesn't do anything soft. Like he's
Correct.
gonna go all out, right? Like he's got a lot of gaps in what he does, but it's like if you think that one's gonna go, you're like, well, you're either so erratic or you're gonna knock someone out. So let me just
Correct.
wait until I actually know. Pedro Xavier had a lot of great ones. All right. I don't think he's top 5, but he's honorable mention.
Yeah.
Ronald Brady. Anthony Price had an amazing spin hook kick.
He did. He did.
Those are my honorable mentions. Now, here's one no one's going to believe.
Can I ask?
Go. Yeah.
Do you have any females in your top 5?
I don't.
Okay, so I want to mention one that just, again, I mentioned Ebony earlier, but Jennifer Santiago has to be on that list too. Like she is one, when really going back to it, remembering her as a junior, her spin hook kick, she would do it. She would hit people with it, but she could also set other things up with her spin hook kick, which was crazy, right? She would do the spin hook kick to stop you from moving and then hit you and blitz you, like, or hit you with a side kick after. That was what was crazy, right? And I think the Brady's did a lot of that too, like doing the spin hook kick to get you to stop and then do a skip side kick after, like crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And here's one. I know no one's gonna like believe, but hey, just it's what it is. Myself. I had a pretty damn good spin hook kick. All right. I hit a lot of people with this move. All right. I can't think of like a move where it's like, this is my thing. And I don't think like that move is my thing, but I was pretty damn good. And I hit a lot of people with this, dropped some people. I was good, but I was not better than, because that was number 5. I was not better than Mike Pombiero.
Oh, I forgot about him being
Mike Pombiero. All right. And there's footage of him dropping the best kicker ever, Jason Borelli, with spin hook kicks, like completely perfectly placed. Like, my goodness. All right. This is not his best spin kick. This next person, but it's Raymond Daniels. If he wants to, he can. And yeah, we kind of do this thing like, okay, because you can put him top 5 in just about anything. You can.
Yeah, I probably would have put honorable mention on that one. I mean, honestly, for me, I would have probably replaced him with someone else on the list. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
But all right, number 2, Justice Lawrence.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Justice Lawrence. He does, and then the reason is why he's so good is because when you feel like, all right, this big danger of your front leg that I got, all right, I got it trapped. You really didn't get it trapped. You really just put yourself in a perfect position for him to jump and switch back and spin hook kick you in the face.
Right.
But the one consensus we have is the number 1 is Robbie Lavoie, the best spin hook kick that there has ever been.
It's crazy, right?
And like I said, like what we fought as NK or whatever team I've ever been on many, many times. And there was times where I was lined up against Ray. I was lined up against Jason. I was lined up against anybody else. The one thing we never did, Alex Dingman never fought Robbie Lavoie, because we know I'm not going to be able to stop that spinning kick. And my fighting style is horrible for that. All right. Mike P, love that you're here, brother. All right. Mike, do you remember that kick that I'm talking about? I think it was at the Diamonds in 09. Right?
Of course,
you hit Jason with that. I think you hit him 2 times, because I think you hit him in the super fights and in team fights. That was a great year.
All right, I'm just gonna tell you just some spin hook kick like things. Like, man, so I use my spin hook kick a lot, especially in continuous fighting, right? And what sucked at a lot of these tournaments was that was on Friday, so I'm doing that first. Yeah, he said it was in team fights. I'm doing that first on Friday, and then I have to do right after I do continuous. Then I go and do all my musical stuff, and then Saturday I do all my creative stuff and my traditional stuff. So I will hit someone with that spin hook kick, and I've done this 3 times where I slipped under the helmet, and like I almost couldn't even walk because I hit him so hard. Like I dropped several people with spin hook kick, and my heel would be like black and blue. Like that's how bad it was. He said, yeah, Ray had that amazing 2-touch spin that ended with a KO. Yes. So I know for me, that was always something like when you hit someone solid like anywhere, and you hit them with that heel and that spin hook kick, oh, it hurts them, but it hurts you too. You feel that. And I've been walking around tournaments with a heel just black from hitting someone else. Yeah. And then having to compete the rest of the time. Yeah. And then or just hitting someone's elbow with a spin hook kick. Oh, that's bad. It's probably
How do you get the elbow on the hook? I can see maybe like
block it. Some people will block like this, and I'll be going up, boom, like this. Or they're going here.
Yeah. I can see that. I've literally never had that happen.
Yeah. Or and again, the spin hook kick, I've had to change directions before where I've gone up to the head and I dropped it down to the body, and then they kind of put it on top. That's how
where they come down?
Yeah. That's how I was out for a while with my knee. Like I thought I like tore something in my knee, and it was just that I had this crazy bruise that went in between like the knee joint somehow. And it just was like from an elbow.
You know what's wild though is sometimes like the 360 round kick is actually easier than the spinning hook kick.
Yes.
Because people know that a spin kick, like they know when you're in a close stance, let's say it's two left-sided fighters or two right-sided fighters, and one person's coming and they're pumping, they understand, well, they should understand what is possible that they're going to get hit with, right? So when you turn, they immediately reach, right?
Mm-hmm.
They reach for what's going to come. And when that rear leg doesn't come,
yeah,
they almost reach to try to catch what's not coming. And when they reach too much, that's when the 360 round kick knocks them out. And, oh man, is it fun?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So here's the deal, guys. We love doing this. This is kind of taking our place of competitors of the week for a while because we get to highlight 20 of them. Great people and go out and look at videos, search, research, ask your instructors about these people, right? Or just ask the same question yourself. Who's the best you've seen? Like,
well, and that's good too. Going. Like, guys, and let us know the best you've seen. Like, just like Mike P is doing. He's saying, hey, Mafia is the best I've seen. Yep. Brilliant.
Angel right now. Cam Dawson. Cam is a great one. Mafia Holloway. Justin Ortiz, another great one.
Justin Ortiz.
You know, another one that, again, this is one of my favorite stories, and it was the craziest story, and it was Wayne Easterling has an amazing spin hook kick, and he's not
I've seen it.
But the story that I had was Justin Ortiz is fighting Willie Hicks in one ring, and Wayne Easterling is fighting Ryan George in the other ring. And Justin Ortiz pushes Willie Hicks out of the ring. At the same time, Wayne Easterling is pushing Ryan George out. He steps, does a spin hook kick. Ryan George dodges it, and it hits Willie Hicks. Yeah, this is the craziest thing ever. Drops him. A blindsided spin hook kick to a competitor's not even this. You're not fighting.
Not even in the same division.
Right. And and it's like,
yet he was fighting.
Yeah. I've posted
this. You get those old school, you get those old school.
It's on our main page, right, guys? It's on the main network because I posted the video because I filmed it.
You get those old school instructors that are like, should have had your hands up still. Should have been ready for anything.
Right.
Yeah. Like, no. Nobody has me be ready for something coming from behind. Like, no. Right. You should have sensed it.
Yeah. It was wild, man. It was wild. All right. So research, guys. This is the importance of sport karate research. Is not just because it's fun, right? But here's the deal.
Oh, but it is.
It's your sport. If you love something, then you should study it, right? If you want to be the best in basketball, you probably watch basketball. If you want to be the best in sport karate, you got to study it. And yes, stay up to date with what is current, but also like research, find some old names, ask people ask your instructor 5 people that you should look up today on YouTube, right?
But it's also good to understand that, like, to stay in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes so many competitors just aren't. They're there and they don't really know what's going on outside of their division. And even some of the guys in their division, they're like, I really don't know who you are or care about you. Right. And you're like, you're not really in it, right? Like,
Yeah.
we understand, true competitors understand the importance of knowing that, like, if I see him, all right, I'm not going to be on his bracket. I see that. I understand that. There's a high likelihood I fight this guy at some point, right?
Right.
Like, I remember thinking about that about Justice Lawrence. Never fought the guy. I had a game plan for the guy. Never ever fought him, right? And I don't know that it was going to work, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, he can outkick me doing whatever he wants, right? And if he gets me to not kick, well, then that's a whole lot easier to beat me then, right?
Right.
So
So
it's
many people do
really,
that.
really fun.
Oh yeah, it is. One of the best ways I think about this, one of the people, and we've had her on the show explaining this before, but so Regina Thompson, she had a list when she was in college. She had a list of all the competitors she wanted to beat, and she knew that list not from watching film, but from the magazines, from knowing the top competitors in NASCA, the top competitors in NBL, who she wanted to beat when she was moving up to adults. She had a hit list, and she wanted to go off of it. But on the other end, she didn't watch any of those videos. She wasn't someone watching all the time. So that way she had this game plan. She didn't want to now I think eventually she started watching some, but it wasn't always that, she was so obsessed with that one person, right? So very interesting in that. All right. How can doing this help our forms competitors, guys? What are some things that forms competitors can improve from the past, right?
I think this is a no-brainer.
I think style, right? I think
Bingo.
kicking. I think some moves that have kind of become extinct because of combos, because of certain things that are known as the big move. And honestly, even in Bo, right? And honestly, even Jackson, who is known for, I mean, he said this too, known for the spins and elevating of how many spins you can do and grab. But body rolls and things have, in some ways, have kind of gotten extinct. That stuff can come back, right? Different angles of strikes with a weapon. Sometimes everyone just does the same because it's lines and cleans. But what about some angles? What about different things like that? For me, it's common
100%.
work. For me, it's common strikes that it's hard. You don't see too many actually strike upside down with a comma. That's why I love doing commas that way, because not many people do. Through the finger spins, right? There's just so many things that I don't want to say are lost in the past, because they're so just
they are
until
they're lost until someone goes back and looks for them.
Right. Well, there are some people that do it, but we need some of our younger competitors to go do that, right?
Here's an example of a competitor that did that in real time, that competitors didn't really follow what he did, and that's Rudy Renyan, right?
Yeah.
Rudy would do that, right? So even let's take commas for example, right? Like, you brought it up. What's not lost? Throwing the comma behind your back. Oh my gosh, we could be done with that, right? Throwing the comma underneath your leg and catching it, like, oh wow, how creative is that move, right?
Right.
It's not creative anymore. It's not creative. But that's exactly what you said. Go back. If you look at some of the hand combos, and I understand the moves and the style and the performance today, yes, it is better than it was in 96. I understand that. But when you look at some of that stuff, you're going to be like, that was actually pretty cool, right? Like, let's take Mike Chat, for example. Mike Chat was slow, all right? He was not a fast competitor. He was slow, but he was clean, right? But because he wasn't as fast, when we talk about Mike Chat, we talk about Chat, Valera, and Carmichael. Okay,
right.
Those are the three. He was the slowest of the three. All right, so he had to be perfect, but he had to do something a little different, all right, with what he did with his moves, right? Because if he just left it to the athleticism, he's dead in the water, right? He's got no shot, right? So now, if you do have that athleticism, and now you can go back and kind of look at that creativity and be like, oh, what is it when you do this with your hand? What is that block? Like, let me try that, right? That's something different. Do that. And I think it can add a little bit of something to it. And it'll be cool. Like, we'll get a chance to see that. And there's always a trend. That's the one thing about what we do is people love to copy. They love to copy.
Oh yeah.
Not just for fighters love to copy too, right? They do it all the time. So if you're doing something really cool and unique and you win something, someone's going to copy you. And then you don't got to get upset. Pat yourself on the back. You're a trendsetter now.
Well, I think, one of the things is the setups for moves and big tricks and big techniques that the 90s had and even the early 2000s have. Now it's just kind of like go, 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 go. Instead of before it would be a big setup, step back. You don't really see that smoothness now that you used to back then, right? It's not there anymore. The presentation, the setup for what you were doing. And so I think that's something people can learn from. Watch the Jimmy film and just understand how you can do more with less, right? And I think that's one of the key things. Of course, we always say thinking. Go ahead.
Well, sometimes when I would get stuck in a rut and I'm like, man, I need something different now. Just sit down and watch tape.
Right.
Sit down and watch tape and be like, I could take that move. I think I took a move from like Dave McComber once. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, I can use that move. He didn't even use it very well. And I'm like, I can do that. Right. I hated his 1, 2, 3. Right. I didn't like that. Right. That wasn't the move. Right. But there's some things that you can take and go, ooh, I like what you did there. Let me try that. Right. And there's some big moves that I think should come back. Like, wouldn't it be cool if somebody did a double leg again?
Yeah, and like a big, gigantic double leg. Yeah, yeah.
Big, gigantic double leg, and then did that into a combo because now guys can do that into combos. That could just be a move in a combo, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things and styles that you can kind of blend. Another thing is taking, and when you've seen that some, but taking certain things that are done traditionally in one weapon and putting it into another. That's cool to see. For me, it's things like spin hook kicks, doing the double spin or triple spin without putting your foot down. Just all kinds of different things. Pop kicks, pop spins can come back. Double 720. There's lots of things. I've been putting out again some questions on my page. I've been getting a lot of cool answers. As far as what your favorite kick is. That was what my thing was today. Top 3 martial arts movies. Also, let's see, who are your instructors? I think that's a big thing, right? People need to give some love, give some props to the people that taught you.
If you were to go your instructors and go, these 3 guys, it's probably more than 3. Like it's more than 3 for me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go 3, what would you say?
Well, all right. So my base 3 is Lawrence Arthur, my American freestyle instructor, Preston Rogers, my Taekwondo instructor, and Johnny Watkins, my Shotokan instructor. Those would be my 3. And then, of course, my competition coach was John Belair. So I can't do just 3. Yeah. And those 4 have done so much for me in my career. And then, of course, there's just so many, right? Like,
it's a cool question.
Someone isn't necessarily just he isn't ever my martial arts instructor, but I can't say I would be who I am today without Mike Conroy, right? And so there's a lot of stuff. I can't be who I am today without Sean Elliott. So there's lots of different people. So I think
guys like Conroy and Sean Elliott, they're kind of universally like anybody's coach who they can get their ear, right? Like if you can get Conroy's ear and you get him at the right time, like he could be your coach, right?
Right.
I called him coach years before he was ever mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because we had conversations, right?
Correct.
So it was interesting. So like mine, if I were to say 3, because it's more than that, I'd say Scott Masterton, right? He's phenomenal. He just is a martial artist.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, he has an undefeated kickboxing record, right?
Right.
Kelly Worley, and
Yeah.
then probably Catherine Miller, right?
Yeah.
What a name for the blast from the past name is that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I didn't
Miller's
know
good.
anything about doing. I didn't know nothing about doing forms. I thought I knew what I was doing, and then she was like, "You are horrible at this." I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I really have no clue what I'm doing."
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
awesome.
yeah, Catherine Miller and Mike Hasse. How about that name? All right.
Yeah,
And they
Mike.
really kind of were like, let me show you what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And then it opened my eyes to be like, oh, I kind of get it now. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, I even think just some of the training methods that we did back then are useful today.
Yeah.
Big
100%.
time. Big time. What's an old school one before we finish up? Because I know you got to go. Here's an old school one that John taught me, but I know it was even older than that, Valera. And I would light a candle, and I would put it on a chair or a table, and I would do my spin hook kick over it or in front of it, and blow it out with my foot. All right, that was it. All right, that was the drill that I would do.
That was a drill.
That was the drill, man. That was the old school drill. All right, the spin hook kick.
All right, I guess.
I was a kid, man. It sounded cool.
All right, here's a drill. Here's one that I had. That I did actually stole this from Donald Brady, right? Get into a deep horse stance. Deep horse stance. Okay. Guy with a body shield in front of you, right? They rush, and you've got a defensive sidekick from that position. All right.
Yes, yeah.
Deep,
Okay.
deep horse stance.
Yeah.
And you got a slide sidekick from that position. No steps.
Yeah.
Just pick up and go. Boom.
All right. Well, that's a good drill. That's not an old school drill. That's what I was saying. Like an old school, like the one I'm saying is like something that like guys in, like,
I heard about this in '93.
probably do. Right. If you
how old do you want me to get?
No, it's a good one. It's a good one. No, I like that one. I mean, there's so many great drills.
Well, actually, here's one I kind of made mention, because remember how I said, like, nobody would have ever known this, but the two people that, like, I kind of wanted to kick like were Christine Bannon Rodriguez and Carrie Furstenberg, who nobody knows who that is, right? So Carrie, well, it was really Carrie, but Carrie told me, like, it was kind of from Christine, right? Carrie would do, like, and this is something that was done all the time, but she would like fake the axe kick, get it fully extended, get it to where there's like, you have to reach and touch, and then pull it back and side kick. Like, we've seen it a million times, right?
Yeah, that's like all I did this weekend when I was fighting.
Pop out, right? But like, we drilled it by like holding, and then just like holding it to where your knee didn't move. Like, your knee can never move. If your knee moves, then it's over. Like, it's going to be too slow. There's no way. Yeah. Fun time, man.
That's a great one. All right, man. Well, have a great rest of your evening. Thank you, guys. Make sure you guys share.
I got the birthday boy right next to me right now. He doesn't want to come on camera, though. You want to come on camera and say hi, Zach? No, he's saying no.
All right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Make sure you go out and support Ocean State Grand Nationals. We got a big show next week to talk about it. Let's go.